Last weekend I didn't upload because I was taking a little bit of a break from uploading every single week, which I've been doing consistently for the past 30 or so weeks. But because I'm insane, I just like uploading every single week, so I'm here making you guys a Q&A video. I went on Twitter, asked you guys to ask me questions, and here I am trying to answer as many of them as possible. Hopefully these answers can give you a bit of a window into my mind. A Portal, perhaps. Yeah, I'm also going to be playing Portal in the background. I hadn't played Portal in a long time, so it was really fun to just replay it this weekend. And so I recorded it, and I thought it'd be really good background footage while I answer your guys' questions. So without further ado, let's begin. Deep Skies asks, does Macro watch any anime? I do watch some animes. Some of the current ones that are still going on that I really like are My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan. Those are two shows that I really enjoy for different reasons. My favorite anime of all time, though, would have to be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That show is incredible. I read the manga for Death Note. I never watched that anime, although I heard it's really good. But if you have any recommendations, please leave them in the comments. I'd be down to watch more anime. Skyline asks, where did the top 50 tips videos go? Did you mean the top 100 characters or the 50 tips videos? Because the 50 tips videos, I've actually kind of brought them back. Like, they're here. So you can check that out if you want to. But the top 100 videos, I've been wanting to make another one. Those are kind of like just for fun and kind of silly and stupid. And lately I've been really enjoying making actual tier lists, because at this point I feel like those other lists, the joke kind of wore off. It was the same joke each time. It's clearly not the actual people and stuff. But if you guys genuinely want that, I might do it again, but I prefer making actual tier lists. And then for 50 tips, I'm actually going to keep doing those because to me that's a lot of fun. I just love being very informative and quick, and I think that format is really good for me personally. So maybe like 50 tips for Among Us or 50 tips for other games can come out in the future. I hope I don't butcher your name, but I'm probably going to butcher a lot of people's names. But Djan Alexic asks, what's 58 plus 11? And I have to be honest, I have no idea. Caitlin asks, you got any tips on audio mastering? I'm an aspiring musician here, but I also love to act, and I've been thinking about getting a little more professional for YouTube. So I currently have a Shure SM7B with the Cloud Lifter thing and the Focusrite thing. I'm butchering this. I don't know what they're called off the top of my head, but even then my audio is not that good. My biggest problem I have when I'm streaming and making YouTube videos is that sometimes I'm too loud or too soft. So I personally am not the person you should be asking for audio mastering tips, because I still have not got that figured out. But I guess tip number one is get a dope mic. Start from there and then kind of look up stuff on YouTube. That's what I've been doing. I don't really have a lot of people that do audio stuff in my life, so 90% of the time I have to do it on my own. Sorry I couldn't be more helpful, Caitlin. Mateo says, backflip, agree or disagree? I'm willing to disagree, okay? And I have a bit of a problem with backflips, you know? Why not front flips? What about gainers? What about somersaults? Easy disagreement for me. So right now, I'm trying to record, but there's like planes in the background. Do you hear that? It's one of my biggest pet peeves about living where I live. Planes. COD King 65 asks, what did you want to do before YouTube? So a lot of people know that I have a degree in economics from UCLA. I was working towards getting my full-on credential to teach math. So I was actually tutoring at an after-school tutoring center, and it was mostly Korean students. They call it a hagwon, and essentially that's what I was doing full-time before YouTube. And if I didn't do YouTube, I would have just kept working towards my credential. I would have went to CSUN, done some classes online and in person, just get that done, and then probably teach at any of the schools in the LUSD district. Because I really do have a passion for teaching, and you can kind of see that in my style of videos. The For Noobs videos are always fun, but the goal is to just get you a fundamental understanding of games and characters. And I think as a teacher, I was able to make math and stuff a lot more understandable and a lot more fun. At least I hope. If you were a student of mine, was I a good teacher? I don't know. Pixel asks, what is the best Among Us hat? I mean, obviously the one that I use is my favorite, just a little beanie. It just always bobs up and down. But I've seen some really cool ones. Like there's the Halloween ones that are pretty epic, like the Plague Doctor one. That one's pretty sick. But I also feel like you can't go wrong with like an egg on the head. I do wish they add more hats in general to that game, because that game is so big and so fun. KZ Gamer asks, what do you think the best character in Smash Bros. Ultimate is? There's a whole debate online as to what is the best character, but the main consensus seems to be Pikachu. The best Pikachu player is Esam, and although he's not the #1 player in the world, a lot of the pros just tend to agree that Pikachu just has the best recovery, a lot of amazing tools, an insane combo game, has little to no bad matchups at all, so Pikachu would probably be the best character in Smash, although characters like Joker and Peach make a pretty good argument for it. I think the most hype character to watch someone play in Smash though is Captain Falcon, without a doubt. If you haven't watched pro level Falcon players, you should look up Fatality. That guy is insane. But yeah, best character is Pikachu, most hype character is Captain Falcon. Black Thanos asks, bruh moment? Bruh. Inky asks, how do you feel about cheese? So funny story, I once made a card for my mother that says, I love you more than my favorite cheese. Cause I guess growing up, I was a chunky little chonker boy and I just loved cheese. Quesadillas, on my tostadas, enchiladas. Like I'm Mexican and most of the food we have, if you can put cheese on it, cheese will be there. So I just freaking adore cheese. But lately I've been cutting it down a lot because it's really not that good for me. And I'm pretty confident I'm lactose intolerant. So I haven't been eating as much cheese and drinking as much dairy. But every now and then I do make myself a quesadilla because come on, it's so easy to make and it's delicious. I think the best cheese is Colby Jack, by the way. Unlucky Ducky says, wanna cuddle? I'm just gonna put a wink emoji here. And then move on. Psycho asks, how did you meet Odo? So a lot of people know that I've been playing with Odo for a long time. In fact, me and Do have been friends since before I even started YouTube. We played Overwatch together. We had a couple mutual friends that we would just play Overwatch together with. And at one point we even had a team. Like we're talking like an actual high level team. And I was just a bench warmer. In fact, I never played once, but I was on the bench for this team because Do was like the best Orisa player at the time. And we didn't do that well, but it was cool that I was even included at all because at the time I was pretty good at tank. I was a good backup tank for sure. But since then, with every single game coming out, I feel like Do has always been down to play new games. And he's always been there. Like whenever I hit him up, he's always awake and he's always just down to play. And so we've just been really good friends since. In fact, I actually met him in person at a Whataburger because he's like a diehard Whataburger fan. I won't lie, Whataburger is pretty good, okay? I think In-N-Out's better, but it's good. But yeah, I love Do and you should subscribe to him if you haven't already. He's dope. Pun intended. Big Mac TV asks, what do you use to edit? So I actually use Adobe Premiere Pro and it's the first thing that I ever used when I even started YouTube. My older brother Danny already had Premiere Pro on his laptop and so I was allowed to use it for free at the time and he taught me how to just do the basics, but after that I kind of just taught myself. And I really do like Adobe Premiere Pro. It is prone to crashes and I feel like you need an insane computer to handle it all the time. I do wish it was more affordable for more people because I do want more people to make videos and I feel like editing software is holding a lot of people back. But yeah, Adobe's pretty dope. Tim Horton's son asks, can we have a face reveal? I don't know, maybe at 1 million subscribers. Alex asks, favorite fast food joint? The obvious answer would have to be In-N-Out because, you know, I'm a Californian and although a lot of people may not think it's that great, the price is pretty unbeatable. You can get a really dope burger like a double and fries for about $5.50 and that burger is so filling and those fries are really good, especially when you get them fresh. A lot of people complain about the fries because, you know, they aren't like full of grease. They literally chop the potatoes right in front of you. But I think In-N-Out is the best bang for your buck. But if it came down to what my favorite is to eat in general, I've been kind of vibing with Chipotle lately. Like I know it sounds really weird as a Latino boy praising Chipotle, but I think Chipotle is really quick, relatively healthy if you arrange your bowl in a way that is the most health efficient. And it also is extremely filling. I usually only eat half a bowl and then I have another half for later. So yeah, In-N-Out and then Chipotle. Toe Muncher asks, favorite food? Maybe you've said it, but I'm curious. I just answered my favorite fast food, but my favorite food in general, I'll start with breakfast and then do lunch and then dinner. So for breakfast, I love chilaquiles. If you never had chilaquiles, you're missing out. They're one of the best Mexican dishes, and I've learned how to cook them from my father, who actually learned how to cook it from his college best friend. So it wasn't passed down through generations, but I will pass it down to my children. The best way to describe it is it's like a breakfast lasagna, and instead of pasta, it's tortillas, and instead of marinara sauce, it's a spicy tomato sauce, and you usually eat that with like an egg or some bacon, and it's awesome. For lunch, my favorite thing would have to be a burger. I just love burgers in general. Burgers are like my favorite thing. They're the bane of my existence. They're gonna keep me fat no matter what. I just love a really good burger, especially with like Kobe beef. Like a really expensive well-made burger gets me going. I love it. And then for dinner, I like a really good steak with mashed potatoes, especially the way I make mashed potatoes. I have a very simple rule for mashed potatoes, and it's if you need gravy on it, they ain't good mashed potatoes. So I put a lot of garlic, a lot of butter. Like these mashed potatoes are loaded, they're stuffed, and then you have a really nice medium rare steak. Just simple salt and pepper, maybe a little bit of cayenne pepper for the kick. Yeah, a good steak, potatoes, and broccoli. Mwah, it's amazing. One of my favorite things to make. Reinhardt's number one stan says, what's your favorite experience in a game? I'm gonna go a little bit nostalgic, and I think I've mentioned it before in my Halo video, but growing up when we played Halo 3, if you got all the achievements for all the DLC, you can unlock exclusive recon armor, right? And that was exclusive to developers at the time. So this armor is so sick, it's so clean. So we worked really hard to get all the achievements done. I just remember it took us about like 5 hours straight to complete the final mission with 1 life, all while using ghosts. And I remember that you have to do this with 2 friends. So we're doing it with my close family friends. I remember in the background, their mom was yelling at them in Spanish that they need to get off and stuff. And they were like, no, we're so close to being it. No, please. And it was just so funny. And then we finally did it. And I feel like we all were just so happy and so excited because we just loved Halo so much. And to finally achieve this, I don't know how to explain that feeling, but that was definitely the best experience. It was with friends, it was on one of my favorite games, and the impact was that we had this awesome skin that we earned. And I feel like a lot of games got rid of that element of earning things. Nowadays, a lot of the cosmetics are you have to pay actual money to get them, and I do miss the days where some of these cosmetics you had to straight up earn. That was awesome. Adam Furness asks, on all the games you made videos on, what's your favorite? My favorite game that I made a video on, besides Halo 3, because I said that's a masterpiece, I would have to say it would have to go to Apex Legends. I can't deny how much I enjoy that game. Obviously, it's been one of the biggest things to help boost my channel to where it's at right now. And to pretend that I don't love it the way I do would be silly. It's obviously not a perfect game and it has a lot of problems, but when it's good, it's so good. And it's definitely the best battle royale right now that's out there. So making Apex Legends for noobs, that first for noobs video on it, not realizing how big it was going to get and how big my channel was going to get from that point on is kind of nice to look back in retrospect. And now that I think about it, it was my favorite game that I made a video on. Declan Chaplin asks, what is your favorite number? My favorite number changes, but I think my favorite number would have to be 11 because I was born on June 11th. I always like the number 11. Which of your videos are you most proud of? When I look back at it, I really liked how I did my This Is America Overwatch Edition video. It's one of my older ones, but it was so much fun filming it. It came out really well, and it's still pretty funny today. But if you're asking me what my favorite for noobs video was, I think based purely off an intro, I really liked making the Rainbow Six Siege for noobs video because I think it low-key gave me back monetization on my previous video, because my video before that was my Halo 3 is a masterpiece video, and it got demonetized because I used Halo 3 music. So I made a joke about that in the Rainbow Six Siege for noobs intro, and I think they saw it, or I don't know what happened, but I got my monetization back on that video. It was so funny. And I think the reason why that was so fun to film was I was doing it with 2 of my best friends, just messing around, and I've been using them, and I've used them in a bunch of other things, but it was just nice to give them kind of like these characters that they could play. Mr. Simp Puppy 123 asks, what's your favorite videos to make? As much as I know that you guys love the For Noobs video because the format is really clean and simple and everyone knows that it's a funny intro, then the details about the game, and then the end. But a part of me really enjoys just doing my macro thoughts, like just random out of the blue videos on topics that you guys weren't expecting. Like when I made that Titanfall video, I understand I got a lot of hate. In retrospect, I probably could have said things a lot better that made me come off less like a noob, but I really enjoyed making it still because I just wanted to be able to speak about something that's been on my mind. So those type of videos are a lot of fun to make for me. Roger Cervantes asks, what was your first YouTube video ever? My first one technically was a video about Iron Man. I wanted to make YouTube videos about film, specifically the MCU. And so I literally had videos called Everything You Need to Know About Iron Man. And I was literally about to go through every single movie in the MCU and discuss them all. From the beginning, Iron Man, all the way till Infinity War. And wow, that was really stupid and they weren't good, and I deleted most of them. I didn't even unlist them, I just deleted them. So yeah, that was my first ever video and it wasn't that good. Technically, my first video that's still up on the channel is the Torbjorn deathmatch one, but I think I had at least 6 or 7 videos before that that are unlisted completely. Nick Sadboy says, not a question, just wanted to share some fluff. Oh my god, it's so cute. I love cats so much. Thank you for this. Void asks, show us your gamer setup now. Because you said it like that, I won't. But one day when I finally have my own room and stuff, my own setup that isn't also my bedroom, I will definitely do a setup tour. Don't worry about that. Anthony asks, also, what is your Xbox gamer score? I'm pretty confident it was like 30,000. I really cared about Xbox gamer score for some reason growing up. In retrospect, it was a waste of time. My brothers and I cared so much, in fact, that the Avatar: The Last Airbender game, which is notoriously really bad, we actually rented it because it also has some of the easiest achievements to get. It only had 10 achievements and you can achieve them all in under 5 minutes. It was so stupid, but everybody would rent it because they just wanted the gamer score to go up. But gamer score means nothing. We're so silly. We just did it because I don't know. Parashock X asks, am I handsome? No. LADM asks, hey man, I've been wanting to start streaming and I haven't really decided on what platform, either Twitch or YouTube. I was wanting to know which platform I should use and any tips for said platform. I personally love having both. I love having YouTube for not live content and having Twitch for live content because I like having it separated in my head, but I know a lot of people that stream on YouTube and it seems to be just as fine. So it really is at that point just a matter of preference. I do think more people tend to lean towards Twitch when it comes to live streaming stuff, but if you already have an established audience on YouTube, sometimes it's just easier to stream on YouTube. Maybe use Twitch to fully live stream and then turn some of those highlights into YouTube videos, like what I've been doing on my second channel. But in general, it really doesn't matter. It just matters which one you prefer. Unfaced Potato asks, best type of ice cream. I love strawberry ice cream. Surya S. Path asks, if you get a chance to play your favorite game character in a movie, then who would it be? I would love to play Mirage in an Apex movie. Obviously, the voice actor could probably play himself because he looks similar enough to Mirage, but I feel like I can bring a good vibe to the character. But obviously, I should probably play Flash Thompson because, you know. Jack Corbett asks, who's your least favorite Overwatch character? The obvious choice would be Brigitte because she kind of single-handedly ruined Overwatch for the majority of people, but I would have to say Sigma is my least favorite character because he just doesn't do anything unique enough. Sigma to me seemed like the worst designed character. His shield was borrowed from Symmetra's old rework. His grasp was just like D.Va's defense matrix. His ultimate just wasn't that cool. Everything about the character just wasn't that cool. Yeah, I would say Sigma is my least favorite Overwatch character. The Mailman asks, Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2? Left 4 Dead 2, I don't know. It's really a toss-up. I think the characters are better in Left 4 Dead, but I think the guns and stuff were better in Left 4 Dead 2. Andreas asks, left or right Twix? I'm gonna have to go with left Twix. Benjamin Melson Vind asks, can I be in this video? Elian asks, is he cute? That's a pretty cute pupper. I'm not a big fan of dogs, but that's a cute pupper. Kid Tark asks, what's your favorite topping to put on pizza? I'm a simple man. I like pepperoni. Manny asks, Xbox Series X or PS5? This question actually comes at a perfect time because Microsoft just bought Bethesda, which is the company that makes Fallout and Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls. So a lot of people are like, whoa, that's a big game changer. But to me, that really isn't that big of a game changer because Fallout 76 was so botched and I don't really have that much faith in Bethesda making amazing content. And I have way more faith in PS5's exclusives. And even if Bethesda ended up making amazing games for the Xbox Series X, I can just buy it on PC because that's what Xbox is doing anyway. I think PS5 is the only console you'll need in the future. Chalox, is the X pronounced? Anyway, they ask, how fast can you run? Not as fast as Keemstar or Usain Bolt, but I was in track and field in high school, but I did do long distance stuff, so I wasn't really that fast. So I would say I'm about medium speed. Mr. Jesse asks, how are you so good at singing? So in high school, I auditioned for the jazz choir and I was in charge of the basses. And there I was trained to be a pretty decent singer. But ever since I was a kid, I always loved singing. And I think I got that from my mom, who got it from her mom, because they're both really good singers. And I just love singing whenever I can. I kind of want to do a karaoke stream, but I don't know if it's worth it if it's going to get copyrighted the whole time. I don't know. We'll see. Nate asks, who do you main in Smash Bros? I actually main a couple characters. Lately, I've been playing a lot of Game & Watch and Ike, but I've always made Donkey Kong, the Mii Gunners, and I love Samus. Slimesicle asks, do you want to play Spellbreak with me later? You know what? Yeah, I'm down. One Strap asks, if you could be any superhero, who would you be and why? I'd be Spider-Man because Spider-Man has just the most versatile abilities. Like, he can't fly, but he can climb on walls, he can sense danger, he's also super strong and super fast, and I just like the idea of just swinging around. I just love Spider-Man, I'll be honest. Spider-Man's the boy. Thanos45 asks, how did you come up with the name The Macro Show? I'm not talking about the macro part, I'm referring to the show part of your name. It's because Macro's taken. No offense to the macro guy, but I don't think he needs his Twitter handle to be macro. Eventually, I do hope to have the Twitter handle macro and the Instagram handle macro and everything just macro. But until then, I just had to have something that showed that I'm a YouTuber. I'm not going to just be macro boy or macro numbers. I'm going to be The Macro Show because it is like a show. And until I get the name macro on every platform, it will be that. And I don't mind it. It's part of my branding now, but eventually I do want just @macro. Kubenslaw asks, how much time do you spend on editing? I spend anywhere from 10 to 20 hours on a really long video. It takes me a bit to write a script and record, and I also have to get footage, and then cutting up the footage and adding music and adding a bunch of different elements to it takes up so much time, but it's so worth it every time. My biggest problem I have is just time management. A lot of this could be done in a couple hours every day, but I tend to procrastinate and postpone it to the last minute. So that's why sometimes videos come out a day later than they should, but in general, it takes anywhere from 10 to 20 hours. Arib asks, do you think there will ever be a Titanfall 3? I don't know, but I really do hope that they announce it someday. Maybe later in the future when Apex Legends has died off, because Respawn's priority seems to be Apex, but I don't see Titanfall 3 anywhere in the near future. Neo asks, what is your top 10 games of all time? I'm gonna do this unordered. Overwatch, Apex Legends, Halo 3, Kingdom Hearts, BioShock, Super Smash Bros. 64, Pokemon Ruby, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Time Splitters 2, and Fallout 3. Those are all games that are easily my favorite games throughout my life. A lot of them have a lot of nostalgia to them. Like, I know Smash Bros. 64 isn't that fun to play anymore, but it's still something that I hold near and dear to my heart. Same thing with Time Splitters 2, which is a game that I feel like not enough people talk about. But yeah, those are my top 10. Echo asks, what is your favorite TV show? I'm gonna separate this into 3 categories: comedies, dramas, and then animation. Animation would have to be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. My favorite comedy show, I think it would have to be How I Met Your Mother. My favorite drama show would have to be Breaking Bad. Orange the Dragon says, do you have any collection of an unusual object, or usual one? Who knows? I have a pretty big collection of pop figures that in retrospect I wish I didn't make because it just takes up a lot of space and they don't do anything, and so I do want to get rid of most of them. That's my usual collection, I guess. Titan asks, wanna ooh with me? Fizzy Braden asks, what got you into video games? I think that just wanting to hang out with my brothers and stuff really got me into video games. It was always something that we could do together. The Black Crewmate, who swears they're not an imposter, says, can you vouch for me? Nah bro, you seem pretty sus. Wado says, what is love? Baby don't hurt me? Don't hurt me? No more. Adrian asks, where are you from? I was born and raised in Los Angeles, technically the San Fernando Valley, and both my parents were also born in Los Angeles, but my grandparents are from Mexico, and so that makes me 100% purebred Mexican. El Santi y El Petizo de Boca asks, what content creators do you look up to? Video Game Donkey, Nikki Jakey, and Relaxalax. Relaxalax in particular, with his Show Your Moves series, really inspired my For Noob series. And then Donkey and Nikki Jakey, with their humor and their ability to just express their thoughts through humor, is what really inspired my other types of content. So in general, I think a mixture of the 3 of them kind of made my content what it is. And of course, I added my own spice to it because in the end of the day, I am me and my content is my own. Is that AJ says, I followed you for a long time and I've always wondered, why For Noobs? Also, how long do you think YouTube will last? So I called my videos For Noobs because I was inspired by those books that you see called For Dummies. Those books were comprehensive beginner's guides to things, broken down so that anybody could understand it. And that's what I wanted to do for gamers, and I thought that the gamer equivalent for a dummy was a noob. Obviously, I'm not calling you guys dummies, it just works out. It's pretty funny in my head. YouTube's probably gonna last a long time. My YouTube channel though, it really depends. I do think about that a lot. I think I can't see myself doing YouTube at like 45 years old. I don't know, maybe I can. Even if YouTube doesn't last and I desperately need to keep working, I can always go back to teaching. So obviously I would love for YouTube to always work out for me, but if it doesn't, I guess I have some type of backup. Bleak asks, what made you want to pursue making YouTube videos and live streaming? So my wife gave me a pretty big talk because she knew that I liked teaching, but she just wanted to know, is that what I really wanted to do? And I was okay with it, but I did have a passion for movies and video games, and I really wanted to use that passion to make content and see where that goes. And so that's why I started making YouTube videos. And the reason I started live streaming was that I found myself playing games anyway, so I was like, why not just stream every time I play? And so you guys get more content that way. GeoRed asks, will you ever do a video with Zilbrad? I get asked this question a lot, and I think a lot of Apex content creators get asked this question a lot because Zilbrad is obviously one of the bigger, if not the biggest, Apex content creator out there right now. But my rule of thumb is that if people want to play with me, they can just DM me, you know? I'm pretty open to playing with people. So Zilbrad, if you're watching this, my DMs are open. If you want to play, hit me up. Otherwise, it's cool. My boy Cam asks, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I don't know, but how much corn could a corn husker husk if her hefty husky husband helped her out? That's the question. Mau Hyena asks, how did you meet your wife/girlfriend? So I actually met my wife in high school, and we had Spanish class together, and we sat next to each other, did a couple group projects, and I realized that she was really cute, and I just wanted to ask her out, and we've been dating literally ever since. And she has just been so supportive and so amazing throughout this entire process of me going through college, and then me becoming a teacher, and then me doing YouTube. She's just always been there by my side, 100% supporting, and it's been awesome. And lastly, Antrius asks, can I be the first question? I hope you enjoyed this portal into my mind, and I will catch you guys later.